Welcome to the Wardrobe of Life.
Hey.
No, I don't know if you know anything about guinea pig penises.
Super bite.
No, it tastes like shit.
Super bite.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Oh yeah, I can hear that. Yeah.
Oh.
I love pineapple, but you not ever hate when you eat it and your tongue like cracks and bleeds and swells.
In the Wardrobe of Life, there is always something different.
Okay, gorgeous.
We're not a couple.
So, I am wearing a hat because I had an accident.
What happened there?
I had an accident. It just got all buzzed off. We started cutting it, and then it just got progressively worse, and then.
That looks good. It looks good.
Just wondering.
Luckily, this is only the second time I've seen that. Bearing in mind, the first time was about 60 seconds ago, just before I signed in. He quickly showed me, and I was like,
To be fair, we've got a nice three-way hat selection going on.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't wear my cravat, or I would feel very overdressed. I was genuinely looking for a cravat earlier. I was like, I'm going to wear a wee nice yellow cravat with my blue shirt, and I'll look quite the bomb. And I didn't.
I think you've let us down, to be honest with you. I think that's yeah.
I think so.
So, today we are joined by the real Lost Boss himself, Neil Scurrah. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm all good. Just navigating through lockdown as everyone is at the moment.
Yeah.
But you're nearly out the other side because both you guys are in England. I'm stuck here in Northern Ireland, but you guys are kind of nearly moving out into some more freedoms, or?
Yeah, we're phase 1, phase
Yeah.
2 in a couple of weeks, and they're kind of giving us a little bit of. The government, should I say, are allowing us to push the boundaries with moving more.
Yeah. And they got their phase set up from how Marvel have produced all of their movies. You know, they went with phase 1 and phase 2, and the government, that's a good idea. Let's have a go at that. But I've noticed it very quickly. I'm sure you've noticed it. Well, I don't know if you noticed. Where about you, Neil?
Northwest near Preston.
Okay, so I'm in London, but I went out yesterday to walk around the park, and because we go out and wander around the park because, well, there's part of that thing. Don't want to be out too long beside everybody, and don't want other people being like, oh, look at all these people. Because I remember people taking photos of people in the park and sharing them on Facebook groups and going like, look at these people in the park. It's a disgrace. But yesterday, holy good fuck, it was bunged. Like, it was like, this is probably not very safe. If we're meant to be keeping distance, everyone was kind of apart, but there's still a lot of people. All it would take was for one person to sneeze and it would just go whoosh all around.
Yeah, and I think, we're lucky. We live in quite a rural area, and we're just sort of staying in apart from going to a supermarket once a week and doing our bits, we're still sort of staying in. It's really quiet around here, but we are lucky. We've got a back garden, we've got a drive, and I feel for people. All these people are naming and shaming people on Facebook. But some people in London live in like a one room, not a one bedroom, a 1 room bed sit, 50 floors up. What are you meant to do? Mental health's going to come into play more than it's going to be more at risk than what COVID-19 is going to be, isn't it? So it's balance, isn't it?
It is balance. Cool. So, bit of background on yourself then. So was it last week or the week before, Richard? I can't remember.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Flying. It is flying. I don't care what anyone says. The weeks are just disappearing.
They are.
Yeah. And I think it's because we've got no concept of time or days at the moment. Every day's just merging into each other.
No, that's it. It's supposed to be a bank holiday next Monday, and what does that mean?
Yeah, every day's been a bank holiday.
With 9 weeks of bank holidays, it's been great actually.
So you started off on a weight loss journey in 2011, was it?
14 it was, February 2014. Yeah, weighed over 500 pounds, so I was just under 37 stone. Don't get me wrong, I'm 6 foot, well, nearly 6'5", so I'm quite a big guy anyway. But it was a bit of a unit, I suppose, is what you'd say.
And you've lost quite a considerable amount of that, haven't
just
you?
over half my body weight. Yeah, so I'm about what's that weight the other day? I was 258 pounds. So yeah, I'm about halfway. About lost half Anyway, yeah, so I'm just over 18 and a half stone. Again, like I say, I'm nearly 6'5", so I'm quite happy with my current weight as it is at the moment.
And that weight loss, was it the weight loss journey that kind of inspired you then to look at becoming a personal trainer and that kind of thing?
Even from being like 3 or 4 months into my weight loss, it was people had just come up to me, because obviously obesity is an epidemic in the Western world. You know, it's not going anywhere. I think it's classed as something like over 30% of the UK population are classed as obese. I think it's about 50% in America. I mean, the stats are just, and it's not going anywhere. So people just gravitated towards me because I was, you know, consistently losing, and they just come and ask me all the time. I just love telling them. So I was just like, you know what, I might as well try and get paid for it while I'm telling people how to do it, you know. And that's, yeah, it just become a passion really. So yeah, sort of three years in, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna go from being a company accountant to being a personal trainer. And that's kind of like the easiest access point into, people recognize it as a qualification for weight loss. I don't know why. You see loads of people on Facebook like with PT after their name, like it's some sort of amazing qualification. You know, it's like, it's not really. You're just a PT. But I just thought it was the sort of quickest route into people recognizing that you can help them with their issues.
Yeah,
That's class.
It's interesting. Like, whenever you were at your heaviest, because this is what I've noticed with people who are, you know, big people. I've got big people in my family and stuff like that, and it's like what are you laughing at? But the thing is, what I noticed is it's not like that they have overly bad eating habits or things like that. It's not like they're sitting, you know, like you've seen all those programs with like the people who need cranes to lift them out of the house, and they do literally just eat all day. They sit just eating. Like I don't get where it comes, where the tipping point is, if you know what I mean.
Actually, I labelled myself, which I can use. It's a bit tongue in cheek, but I always say I was Channel 5 documentary fat. It's like that's how I kind of like, because yeah, you do see these people, and don't get me wrong, they just show the one day where that's one person eats 10,000 calories. If you ate 10,000 calories every single day, and you weren't moving, you would put like 100 pounds a year on. You know, it is, when you break it down, 3,500 calories is a pound of fat. So when you break it down, if you put a stone on over a year, you've actually eaten probably about 250 calories more a week on average than what you should have done. It's nothing. It's one Mars bar. That's it. But yeah, people just associate. They see someone that's overweight and they just think they're naturally A, extremely lazy, and B, extremely greedy. I'm not saying there aren't people like that, but that's just the you know, the kind of association that unfortunately people that are a happy and healthy weight, as I call it, have of obese people.
That's where this is where I feel like I fall in, is because I am lazy and I am greedy, but I just try and squash everything under my hat and then keeps it all in.
But you see, this might surprise you guys, right? But I'm a little bit overweight, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm a bit overweight. But I've always found that as well, that when I'm talking to people, I can kind of feel like they know that I'm lazy and greedy. You know what I mean? Just from
well, like, even you're talking to me, we're trying to write some fantastic new bits, and you just look at me and think I'm going, you're so lazy and greedy.
I'm going for a lie down. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm going for a lie down.
But you know what I mean? There is that almost, you can kind of see it in people whenever they kind of meet you, that there is this kind of assumption with that kind of thing, you know?
I always think there's different sort of levels of being overweight as well. You know, there's the builder that eats, you know, a bacon and egg butty every morning. They've just got a bit of a tummy on them and this, that, and the other. And then all the way up to being super morbidly obese, which is what I classed myself as. And don't get me wrong, I was lazy and I was greedy, but possibly not to quite the extent that people assume that you are. Do you know what I mean? It's unfortunately, people that do have weight issues are just stereotyped, aren't they? 100%.
Yeah.
You just get the phrase, stop eating. Stop
Yeah,
eating.
so what you're saying basically is, so you're saying it's this kind of thing of that, well, you did just say it, that it could be the equivalent of just like one Mars bar or something, with the amount of weight that you could put on or lose over the course of a year. It's
100%. And people they demonize food. They just look at a pizza or a McDonald's and go, it's this that's making me fat. And it's not, it's all about calories. Calories in, calories out. It's, you know, it is down to science. And it's such a small margin that increases weight. But again, you only need quite a small margin to decrease your weight. It's just being consistent with it. But unfortunately, people just go to extremes. So I need to lose weight. So I'm going to go to the gym 6 times a week. I'm never going to eat a KFC again, or a pizza or ice cream. And this is why weight loss is hard, because no one seems to go for that middle ground. It's one or the other. I'm going to be super greedy and not move, or I'm going to do 6 bits of exercise a week and eat, 2 Rivitas and sniff a bit of lettuce a day. It's just like meet yourself in the middle. Yeah. And, and that's just the way it's the way I've done it. I used to try to lose weight that way. But now I just went and met myself in the middle, and it's kind of what I teach people to do now to try and have a successful, weight loss journey.
I think that's quite interesting, because when I worked for Richard's parents when they were on front of house, so I was managing events and weddings and stuff like that there. So what I would have had, it would have involved a lot of moving about over the course of a day, lot of moving, a lot of lifting. But because of the environment I was in, I was eating very, very rich, heavy, calorie-laden foods. Like there was one day where the only thing I ate all day was 2 massive balls of goat's cheese and 2 fillet steaks.
Sounds amazing.
Because
that's the keto diet. That's the Atkins diet. Just to eat cheese and steak. But it is calorie laden,
Exactly. So even though I was walking like way over 10,000 steps a day and I was lifting heavy stuff all day, I was still packing in the calories, because I was only eating I wasn't going for the lettuce or the bit of salad. I was just eating that whatever I could get my hands on as quick as, and unfortunately Richard's dad's cooking is exceptional. So
and you know what, it's one of those things as well, in that kind of environment especially, it is that kind of because you don't go for the piece of lettuce or the whatever, not that I ever would, but it's like, because you're fighting with all the other people who are working there as well, so you go, fuck, there's a steak, I need to get the steak, I'm going to get that steak right now, and I'm going to stick it on a fork and eat it like an ice cream. Like I have done that and just gone but
salad bowl is never the first thing to go at a buffet, is it? It's what you like. It's what when you get there an hour late and it's like, shit, there's celery and lettuce left, and that's it. The sausage on sticks and the sausage rolls and the sandwiches, they get decimated, don't they? You'll get 1 tray of half-cooked chicken legs and a little bit of lettuce left at the end, and there's a reason for that.
Well, here, Neil, whenever you started your weight loss journey, what was harder for you to adapt to? Was it the taking on little bit of exercise or altering your diet? Like, was there food that you were like, I should be eating that, but I can't stand it and I don't want to?
Do you know, that was always my mentality throughout my life when I tried to lose weight. And I just, and even when I knew I was going to start losing weight, because everyone says, why do tomorrow what you do today? But it's not like that. You've got to get yourself, it's like quitting any sort of addiction, smoking, alcohol, gambling. You've got to get yourself into that kind of mindset. And so I started on a Monday, and like a lot of people do when they start a diet, the Sunday night I went for a Chinese, and I'm like, I'm having 35 dishes from the Chinese because tomorrow I'm going to be healthy. And I remember standing there in the Chinese and going, it was busy. It was really busy. And I think there was 2 people out of 12 waiting for their order that had a weight issue. Everyone else was like, what I call, again, a happy and healthy weight. I'm like, how come they can eat a Chinese and not be fat? Yeah, I eat a Chinese and I can be fat, and I am fat. And it kind of gave me that, do you know what, I can eat a Chinese. I just need to, rather than I'm picking up 30 pounds worth of food for me, I probably should just be having a main course and rice and maybe a spring roll. Do you know what I mean? And it's just kind of, again, it's that, it is that sort of balance. But exercise was the hardest. Exercise was, because I had a lot of physical health issues when I first started, and this was one of my main triggers. I'd always suffered with my mental health, so I suffered with depression on and off all my life. And again, I kind of feel depression can be a little bit hereditary. My dad was bipolar, so he was very up and down throughout my life, and it kind of gravitates over to, you know, the environment that you live in.
Yeah.
Physical, don't get me wrong, when I look back now, I had physical disabilities when I was 20, 22, 23 from my obesity, but I never felt it impacting my life until I hit my 30s. So I had what was called good days and bad days. Some days I'd wake up, I couldn't stand up because the pain through my knees and my feet was just ridiculous. And even now, my feet are like, I squashed them. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like you see these Amazonian tribes that put their plates in there. That's what my heels look like. They're like that, you know. They are. And so it was the case of, I never exercised in my life. The most I ever got to was walking the dog the odd time, you know, when I could be bothered. But that's where I started, walking the dog. When I had a good day and my joints were behaving themselves, I just started to walk more. And then even after 2 months, even being the size I was, just 2 months of eating better and trying to walk every day if I could, it's amazing how much it made me feel. And then I joined a gym a couple of months in. And again, I know everyone's like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, blah, 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 blah. But I just associated fit and healthy people went to the gym. I learned now from working in a gym that that's not the case. Quite unfit and very unhealthy people go to a gym as well. But that was just my association. So I was like, all right, I'm going to join the gym. And I think my mentality at the time, I just knew I had to do it, because I probably wouldn't be here now if I didn't. So that is kind of what drove me to keep going. And then once it just become a bit of a routine, and rather than saying, right, I'm going to go to the gym every day, I need to go to the gym, I'm going to walk on I didn't. I just went twice a week when my joints were behaving. Yeah. And then when I felt a bit better, I started going 3 times a week. And for the first 8 or 9 months, I never went more than 3 times a week to the gym. And I went first thing in the morning because it was nice and quiet, because I was self-conscious. And so exercise was the hardest. But rather than punishing myself to do it all the time, I just got that mentality. Am I doing more than what I used to do? Yeah. Right. Well, that's enough for now, you know. And it's well, it kind of works, you know. It's just that was my mentality anyway.
Yeah, that's it. It seems like a very good approach. Like, I know my approach to things like that is never good. I'm not one for exercise. And a couple of years ago, like a few years ago, it's a long time. It's over 6 years. Like I tried a couple of years, a few years ago, 6 years ago, before I moved to London. We were going, myself and my other half were going to the gym quite a lot back home. But again, not maybe 4 days a week. But then I was doing, but what I thought for me anyway, because even now I don't want to go back to a gym now, because I found the people that I liked, you know, like I found the classes and I'd found the kind of routines and the way and the behaviors of people. And I was like, this works for me. And now it's not there. And it's like, no, I don't want to go to this new gym and try these new people's fucking ideas of what's good, because I know what I like, and that's back home, and I want that instead, you know, which is obviously a bad thing, because I could actually get my ass up and try and maybe sort myself out of it. But that
exercise is important. Exercise is important more for mental and physical health than it is for weight loss. Just moving more is important for weight loss. I always say you never see a fat postman. They might never go to the gym in their life. But again, like AJ was saying before, doing 10, 15,000 steps a day as a waiter, if you weren't binging on goat's cheese and fillet steak, you would have seen the scales come down. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean the sense you had to cut everything out, but if you were just probably a bit more responsible with what you were eating, and just have a little bit of willpower to go, no, I'm not going to eat that, I'm going to eat this. Yeah. Just moving more. I train now about 9 times a week, but it's my hobby and it's something I love doing.
Yeah.
But even now, the amount of calories I burn in a week, only about 10 to 15% of them are through exercise. I burn the majority, just like you will, and you, AJ, will burn the majority of your calories going to the supermarket, walking around your house, walking around a park, walking a dog. It is honestly, just cleaning the house. You give your house a good deep clean, you burn 450 calories. That's exactly the same as doing a weight session in the gym. So people need to get out of this. I have to exercise to lose weight. You don't, but you do have to move more. You have to.
Yeah.
Something I do notice that when I'm cleaning the house, if I'm go quite vigorously, and then it's like I'm like, fucking hell, I've got a sweat on. All I've been doing is hoovering.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just movement. It's just a movement. And this is what I try and promote to all my clients. If you can only go to the gym once or twice a week, fantastic. That's all you need to do. But if it's a 5-minute drive, then it's a 2-minute. If it's a 2-minute drive, it's a 5-6 minute walk. So, and again, you're saying to me, you don't do a lot of exercise. If you live in London and you don't own a car, you've only got one mode of transport. You haven't got public transport. But how do you get to the bus? How do you get to the train? You have to walk there. Although you might think you don't do any exercise, you subconsciously do.
Yeah. Well, like even since this whole thing started, we've been very consciously, we've been going for a walk every day. Now there's maybe been 1 or 2 days that we've missed it, but never in a row. We've gone out, walked around the park and come back every single day.
How many people are going for a walk? It's just like, where are all these people? I mean, like I say, we live in a little village and we live down a lane and it's a really nice route. It's like a circle sort of walk around. And I'm like, who are these people just walking down? This is when we're in full lockdown at the beginning and they all live in the village. And I'm like, why didn't you just do this in the first, why?
Yeah.
It's actually,
exactly.
It's actually been one of the biggest things is that we are actually able to see people getting out and moving around. And you do see people kind of enjoying that more, because it's been taken away from them, the complete freedom. Yeah. So really enjoying the walk that they do get.
Yeah, I think so. And do you know what? It's like my theory is like attractive people hide and then they come out at times like this. It's like if there's a really nice day and there's a concert on, all the attractive people come out to go to that concert. Like, hey, where are all these people been? Well, these guys and girls are all really good looking and they just keep themselves. It's kind of happening again now. It's like the good looking people stay hidden and then they all come out in the nice weather for a quick walk, because they need to walk. It's like, there they are. Wow.
It's trendy. It's a trendy thing to do, going for a walk. So it's like, I'm going to go for a walk because it's fashionable at the moment. Yeah.
So, you after you lost a huge amount of weight, you got to a certain point where you actually had, I don't know, we've talked about this. You've had a lot of extra kind of skin and stuff like that there left over, and you've actually undergone, is it 2 operations to get some of that removed?
Yeah, I've had 2 skin removal operations. My first one was July 2016, so I was just over 2 years into, and I had breast augmentation, so I had a breast reduction. I went to the NHS in January 2016, and I went too soon. I was like a lot of people's mentality. We always want a quick fix, don't we? Because if we didn't, the National Lottery wouldn't be a business. We love a quick fix. And I went too soon, but I had quite a lot of loose skin. And the NHS were literally like, you probably still need to lose about another 6 or 7 stone before we'll even contemplate doing any skin removal. And they basically said the only skin removal we'll actually do as well is your stomach, because that could cause health complications further down the line. The rest of it is vanity. But yeah, I kind of had, my chest was, I could probably look like I'd given birth to about 30 kids because it was down to my hips,
Yeah.
And it was something I was self-conscious about. I was enjoying swimming and that. So I went private to have my chest done, which is still one of the best things I ever decided to have done. And it did need doing, especially when I was exercising. And then, last year, end of May last year, I had a fleur-de-lis abdominoplasty. So they basically cut from the center of your chest, right down, in a triangle format down to your hips.
Is that why it's called a fleur-de-lis? Do they cut in the shape of a fleur-de-lis?
Yeah, so they cut from the center of your chest down to your hips, and then a across the top of your pubic bone, and then basically just pull it all in and zip you up. Is kind of they removed just over 12 pounds of skin in that operation. Yeah, so nearly stone weight.
After that, did you kind of feel like you were kind of near the end of that?
Absolutely. It was weird. It's kind of like it was the final piece for me in the jigsaw, because my stomach was, I had a lot of loose skin. And I used to get pressure sores. So when I was obese, I got pressure sores, like if I wore like pants with a belt. But I still got them, even though I've lost all this weight. If I was wearing jeans or anything like that, because the skin had overlapped, I'd get pressure sores. And I I used to suffer with psoriasis, which is, I don't know if you know about it, it's a bit like an eczema thing where your skin, it heals itself 3 times quicker than it would normally. So you just get a lot of dry skin. And when I was obese, and there's no cure for psoriasis, there's different ointments that can help it, but there's no cure. And I had about 50% body coverage when I was obese, but they do say stress and obesity are 2 of the main triggers, and it literally disappeared, but I still got it a little bit in the folds of my loose skin. So that's why the NHS did it, really, because your skin gets thinner the older you get. It's one organ that will constantly keep growing. So it was, but now I've had it done. I said when I had that done, that'd be it. But now I've still got, if I just show you, I've kind of got so my stomach is kind of flat now because I've had the skin removal, but then it's empty. I've still got it on my hips and on my back. So I'm kind of like, am I going to have those done? And I'll have to pay privately for them, but I think further down the line, I might.
And do you notice it instantly? Like when, obviously you wake up a bit groggy from the surgery, but you were saying that was 12 pounds removed. Like, or is it the kind of like, oh, I can move a lot easier, but, get up,
It's literally, the first week after skin removal surgery is one of the most, it is absolutely, every time you move, and obviously you've got this scar, but even now, it'd be 12 months next week since I had it done. It's still really tight. It takes about 2 years for it to fully sort of heal and become supple. But you kind of wake up and then you just sort of look down and there was just like this white bandage, and it's like, wow, where's all my? I remember managing about after you try and get you up the next day to move around because obviously blood flow heals. And I remember going into the toilet very slowly, still had a cannula in with a drip. And I just sort of lifted up my t-shirt and just looked at myself for the first time. And it is like that instant, like, it's gone,
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I wish I'd done it in America. I don't know if again, I say about Channel 5 documentaries. You have a lot of shows on TLC in America, like My 3,000 Family and My 600 Pound Life. And I love watching these. I do, honestly. I absolutely love watching them because it's research for me. But I just know what these people are kind of going through. But they do their skin removal. They do it in a hit. And it's like they literally take, if they've been in America, they literally cut the whole band and just pull you down and sew you up.
Oh.
Yeah, and you're out of action for about 6 months, something like that. Before
Does that not mean your nipples are about here?
Yeah. Well, I actually, if you want me to go a little bit graphic, they actually cut, when I had my chest done, they cut my nipples off and then reattach them. And there is something like about a 50% chance that they won't take. So they just kind of shrivel up and drop off. And then the NHS pay for you to have nipples tattooed on your chest.
So do you have real nipples or tattooed nipples?
Listen, I've got real nipples. Mine took, and there's something like a 3% chance that the nerve endings will reconnect and you'll get feeling in them. And I literally can get a nip on, even when it's cold. Which is like pretty unheard of when you have the surgery I have. So yeah, it's
wow. And where do they put them while they're doing it? Like, do they stick them to your arm or something?
if I was the surgeon, I'd be like resting them on my forehead, and taking pictures or having a selfie with random nipples.
Somebody's got them over their eyes and stuff.
Like cucumber pieces.
Yeah, because I saw a surgery video of a guy. Well, I don't know what surgery he was getting done. I can only assume, but it was one of those things you could see like the operating room, but really all they did was just pan the camera around to this guy's arm, and he had his dick on his arm. Like just sitting there, penis on his arm, and they're like just like poking at it and pointing it.
Oh yeah.
And then that was the end of it. I was like, okay. But
okay, so if we wanted to find out more about this and find out more about you and your videos, because I know you started building up.
Find out more about you. What's your address and your phone number and where do you live?
I'll just screenshot you the Google directions and you can just put that on there. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of in the midst of. So I settled The Real Lost Boss about 8 months ago now, just because I wanted to hit a wider audience. I was kind of saturated in my local area, and I just want to help as many people as I can. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, with obesity is an epidemic. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Real Lost Boss, and I'm on YouTube as well. If you just search YouTube, The Real Lost Boss. If you get 100 subscribers on YouTube, you can have a custom URL. So I can have youtube.com/reallostboss. I'm at 84 subscribers, so I need 16 more. So I can't give you a proper YouTube URL, but I will have it. But if you just put The Real Lost Boss into YouTube,
let's see if we
sorry, go on.
Let's see if we can get up to 100 with this. Then we'll see if we.
I know that's how. If I get to 100, I can have a custom URL. After that, I'm not bothered. I'm happy then, as long as it, rather than having loads of numbers and letters. And soon I will have my website up and running, which will be www.thereallostboss.com. I only know that because I own the domain name. It's not been associated to a website yet. That's being built at the moment, and I'm writing loads of blogs and content to go on there. So, but yeah, at the moment, Facebook and Instagram at Real Lost Boss, and YouTube The Real Lost Boss. So lots of advice and tips and different bits and pieces on there. And then eventually I'm going to have some kind of like plans and stuff for people to follow that want to go on a weight loss journey.
And is there, although you were saying, it is a case of, like someone said this to me, actually, somebody that I worked with once said, we all know the secret to losing weight. It's eat less, move more, which is essentially what you're suggesting. Don't be greedy and keep
eat less, move more. It's a saying I use, but it's one I hate because you're asking people that have weight issues to do two things that they just really don't want to do. and it is a case of like, stop eating and get walking. And, I always say to people, it's the same as saying to an alcoholic, put that drink down, or a gambler, like, stop going to the bookies. It's just not.
Yeah.
I suppose that is the basic concept. That is the basic concept.
I suppose it's changing the perception of it. Like I was watching an old Parkinson interview the other day, and Billy Connolly and Michael Caine were on it, and they were talking about how Billy Connolly used to drink, but Michael Caine still does. And he says, I never wanted to get to a stage where I couldn't enjoy a glass of wine with my dinner. So I just had to then just watch what I was drinking. I just, I didn't stop, but I just had to not go mad.
100%. To lose weight, you just need to eat less calories than what you burn. That is it. If you do that, the excess calories that are required by the body will be taken from your energy stores, which if you have a weight issue will predominantly be fat. It's how you approach that. And that was my biggest change. I can tell you diet plans and exercises and all this, that, and the other. The biggest change I made was my mentality and approach towards weight loss. And if you change that, not going to extremes, realizing that sometimes the scales will go up. They're not going to come down every time. They will go up. You don't need to go to the gym 10 times a week. You don't need to do all these things. Just little changes and keeping them consistent. It took me 4 years, nearly 4 years to get to my, what I call happy and healthy weight. And I always say, if you've got a long-term problem, you need a long-term solution.
Yeah.
You're never going to eat a piece of bread again for the rest of your life. Of course you are. So stop thinking that's going to help you lose weight. It's not.
Yeah.
That's great. I feel completely justified in eating McDonald's now.
It's something I put on my Instagram, my Facebook all the time. I sit there with like a double cheeseburger and a chicken sandwich, 6 nuggets and a McFlurry. But I'm like, I've moved quite a bit this week, and I was pretty good Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So why the hell can't I smash 2,000 calories of McDonald's in? My body doesn't know the difference between whether you're eating a chicken salad or a double cheeseburger. It hasn't got a flipping clue. It just recognises calorie value. So stop demonising all these things. Just enjoy them more responsibly. That's the key.
Yeah.
Cool.
Picking up for this stuff,
Yes.
but probably
Lots
not from Nestle because they
Lots of
apparently
vodka.
do horrible things to African children. Apparently, that's what I've been told. I didn't realise that when I bought it, but there we go.
Well, thank you very much, Neil.
Thanks so much.
Hey, cheers, guys. I enjoyed it. As you can guess, I love talking and I never shut up, so that's why I'm.
That's great. Enjoy the golf this afternoon.
Yeah, we're allowed to go out, so I'm going for a cheeky, just a cheeky 9 holes. Though I'm the worst golfer in the world.
Oh, you dirty bugger.
Just an excuse for a bit of sun and the best way to ruin a good walk. Who said? I can't remember. Was it Winston Churchill? Can't remember. But yeah.
Very good.
Easy.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much for your
All the
time.
best.
Thanks for listening to me.
No worries. Take care.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Richard and AJ's Wardrobe of Life podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Check out our YouTube channel, Richard and AJ Videos.